Hi, Larry Knopf here at LO Smart Marketer, and I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for your interest in the virtual online meeting for loan officers. I think you're going to like this idea. It's definitely different, and the response I get from my clients and prospects has really been incredible. But before you access your training information, I'd like you to watch this brief presentation. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can save thousands and thousands of dollars in lost commissions by knowing the critical differences between Desktop Underwriter and Loan Prospector. Now, this may sound a little crazy, but I want you to hang in there with me for just a quick minute. Now, I know that as a loan officer, you wear many hats: sales, marketing, and product knowledge. But you can't know everything. There is simply too much to know, particularly when it comes to product guidelines, like the subtle but huge differences between DU and LP. Unfortunately, what you don't know costs you money, and that's lots and lots of money. And honestly, most loan officers don't even know that there are such big differences between Desktop Underwriter and Loan Prospector, but differences that can make or break a deal for you. And as you already know, what you don't know can cost you serious money, thousands and thousands of dollars in lost commissions, and that could be on just one single deal. Well, I have found as a producing mortgage broker for the last 19 years that having quick access to loan guidelines based on certain scenarios is essential to staying at the top of your game. But if you're anything like me, you don't have the time to scroll through pages and pages of guidelines. And there are times when you can't wait for an account exec or an underwriter or a scenario desk to get back to you. So with the help of a few of my lenders, I've put together the perfect tool for you. I want to introduce you to the DU versus LP Quick Reference Guide. Now, this quick reference guide is designed in a very simple format. First, an important issue of difference is listed. And then, how DU and LP differ is briefly explained in plain English. I've even highlighted the best option for you. I highlighted it in blue. Now, the guide covers the most commonly encountered scenarios where the real differences between DU and LP can make or break your loan. Differences that impact self-employed borrowers, commissioned and bonused employees, foreclosure, Chapter 7 and 13 bankruptcy, debt elimination to make ratio. And I want you to hang in there and check out my story coming up. I think you're going to like this. Qualifying assets, student loans, rent histories, and there's so much more. And these are all important qualifying aspects of many of the borrowers you and I work with day in and day out. Now, I want you to think about this for just a second. Do you know the differences in how DU and LP view the guideline issues I just listed? There are big differences in them, major differences, and not knowing them will cost you business. And I'll tell you this, the DU versus LP Quick Reference Guide will pay for itself 300 times over on just your first saved deal. Now, to get your copy of the guide, just click the button below to order it. Now, I have to tell you, this all came about from a purchase loan I was working on. It was about a year ago. And I've been an LO for 22 years and a producing broker, as I mentioned, for the last 19 years. My client was a super nice woman who wanted to purchase a second home here in Delaware. She was going to retire in the next 5 years, and she felt the time was right to buy a home while the prices were still down and the interest rates were really low. And this is one of those loans where you think to yourself, man, this one is going to be a piece of cake. She was a wage earner on a salary. She had good credit, good scores. She had decent assets. Her ratios were a little bit high, but we were okay with DU. And when she sent me her docs, they didn't include her taxes. She assured me that nothing unusual was going on. She didn't have any side businesses. There were no rental properties. And she didn't know of any unusual write-offs. So we proceeded while she got them from her CPA. Well, first we were delayed with a property issue that we thought would kill the deal. And when that was worked out, we finally sent in the loan package. All parties requested a very quick closing. So we were kind of off to the races. And just as expected, we got a quick approval on a Fannie conventional loan. It was conforming. And the appraisal came in perfectly. We were right on track. But then an updated approval was delivered because the 4506T came back. And I'll be damned. We had a ratio problem because my borrower had unreimbursed employee expenses on her Schedule A. Who knew, right? It threw her ratios right over the top, and DU said this was not going to happen. Fortunately, she had enough assets to pay off the 3 cards she had and make her ratios. And Fannie allowed us to pay the cards off on the HUD. That was cool. I thought that was no problem, except she had to close the cards. I thought, good grief, I really couldn't believe that. My client was so upset. She was about to let the deal go. She said, I am not going to be without at least 1 credit card. Now, surprisingly enough, Freddie Mac and Loan Prospector came to the rescue here. The underwriter quickly checked LP guidelines in this scenario and found what looked like a green light for this loan. We ran LP, and you know what? LP said, pay off the cards at closing, and you can keep your cards open. Deal saved. Now, this was a total commission of over $5,000 saved, all because of a simple yet subtle difference between DU and LP. And that started my interest in getting together a quick reference guide. And I'm telling you, the DU versus LP quick reference guide is a valuable resource. I use it regularly. And I'm going to offer this 100% money back guarantee. If you don't find the guide a truly valuable tool, we'll refund your money with no questions asked. Okay, so you're probably wondering by now how much the DU versus LP quick reference guide is going to cost. Well, you know, I could be silly and tell you that I'm charging some ridiculous amount of money and then how much I'm reducing the price, but that's just not me. So here's the deal. It's only $7. Yeah, $7. Why so little? Well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You could put a reference guide like this together yourself. And if you don't buy my guide today, you really should. It'll take some time, maybe 3 or 4 hours, do your research, create the guide. But I think your time is worth more than $2 an hour, don't you? So why spend your time doing $2 an hour work? And best of all, a done-for-you guide like this is a very simple way to raise your level of expertise. It makes you a better loan officer. That's plain and simple. So click the button below to get your copy of the DU versus LP Quick Reference Guide for only $7. And remember, one single mistake, one single deal where you lost a loan because you didn't know the differences between DU and LP will cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. And wouldn't it be a shame to make a silly mistake like that? This $7 investment in your product expertise can prevent that from happening. And hey, you have a money-back guarantee to boot. So get your copy right now by clicking the button below, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.